Hey everyone, Jade here with Panilla JJ. We cut our recording in half and are uploading it as two videos. So our first video was an update on Starflame Rush and Draconia Rising, and this video is going to be us closing out in our final notes on the AnaUngaBunga and Rolliver accounts. So we're going to jump into that. The video is going to start a little abruptly, but we apologize, and hopefully you enjoy it. Bye!
Yeah, so honestly, it was doing pretty well. I was pretty happy with its progress. I was in a similar place where I didn't really have anything good to spend diamonds on. I was before we kind of made the decision to end these when we did. I was summoning on the choice up for Roland,
Hmm.
the 2388, because I just needed to make sure I had 8 ready for Mythic. But that was really optimistic because just getting people up was such a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, and I don't know if you were doing this well. I was cannibalizing even pretty good Alliance SSRs.
Oh, I
Um,
have not done any cannibalization.
oh
Oh.
well, I mean that's responsible of you. Um I ate a Elite plus Elena
Mhm.
on my way here. I've just been devouring any terpenes that get to Elite Plus. It's been a journey. This Ingemeyer has been looking pretty tasty, I'm not
Oh
gonna
no.
lie. Yeah, no, I was really getting pretty desperate here. I mean, like, Nancy's ready for Mythic, but is like a year away from getting there. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge.
Mhm.
I guess what I want to say is kind of my lessons learned. And the first lesson learned, which maybe isn't too shocking to a lot of people, but going straight faction is not a really good idea for a new account.
Mhm.
I think uh, three of a faction, like if you want like a main faction, I think that's really reasonable. I think Alliance is kind of a good splash. Like if you want Roland, Oliver, and Molly, I
Mhm.
think that's very natural. But what the hard thing about that is that while Oliver shows up in the regular summon pity in
Yeah.
uh, the PT points, I guess,
Mhm.
uh, Roland never shows up in this exchange
Right.
down here. So it is a gamble. And as I have said in other ones, when I didn't have 4 Rolands, I was looking at my account saying, "Okay, I'm a Lawrence main." And Lawrence
Mhm.
is the only character that can do anything for me. And that's not a place you want to be.
Mm.
I think I've showed off every strength Lawrence has, and I don't think while I think it's important to use the units you have, and I think this is a demonstration where you are better off using the units you were given than trying to force units that are still stuck at elite. Like just having the extra base stats matters a lot, even if their abilities aren't that amazing. Um, but I think you don't start a new account saying I am going Roland Oliver. What happens is you get for Roland, and then you're a Roland Oliver account.
Mhm. And that makes sense. Yeah.
Um, that's kind of a thing that I felt after playing this is that's what I would recommend to someone where if they knew of that duo and they thought it was cool to not don't plan on it right away. The second you get for Roland, that's your cue
Yeah.
to
You'll pivot.
become a Roland Oliver account.
Mhm.
Um, just a few other quick things. I think Ingemeyer is pretty good, but all of his abilities care a lot about getting critical hits.
Mhm.
So early on, while your crit chance is 10%, and like
Mhm.
yeah, you do get like when you crit, then your crit rate goes up and whatever. Before your crit rate is really high, he's really bad. He's
Yeah.
really weak. So like Ingemeyer is kind of a late game unit and a boss killing unit and not a unit that's going to help your team early on.
Mhm.
Um Nancy is a unit that I was extremely disappointed with until 141, where this 50% chance to disarm is really strong.
Mhm.
Um, like an AOE physical units can't use skills while disarmed is like it stops people from alting.
Yeah.
Um, it can do some pretty crazy things, and it's another thing where this is 50% sure, but like I was saying before, RNG mechanics benefit the player.
Mhm.
So if this misses when I need to stop an Ana from alting, I just redo the fight until it hits. And like that doesn't necessarily feel good all the time, but it can get you that extra edge that you need. So
Mhm.
Nancy post 140 has felt like a key part of the team. Molly, I think people are pretty familiar with. I think Molly is very strong, but if she's under leveled, she struggles because she's less unfair than a lot
Mhm.
of other tanks.
Yeah.
Um, she actually does need stats in order to stay alive. Um, Ayano, I think, might have been a mistake. And
Mhm.
the reason for that is her potential is only really good for non Draconia at potential 30,
Yeah.
getting this uh 10% damage dealt, 20% attack speed, 20% dodge rate. Getting that extra dodge rate is a big deal. And also, yeah, it's 10% attack speed where this all I get is 15% attack speed. So going up to 20% attack speed and the 20% dodge rate makes would have made her a lot stronger, but just a little bit of attack damage dealt and attack speed didn't feel worth it. But I did need someone of another element just to keep pushing
Yeah.
Sage Academy.
Mhm.
Um, but the reason that was a mistake is Rand and Oliver. Part of what makes them so strong is their P30. Because at P30, it doesn't only apply to themselves and the other one of the pairing, it also applies to one additional ally.
Mhm.
So that means you go from at P0, you get one shield for each. P10, you get two shields each
Mhm.
cast. P30, you get three shields each cast.
Yep.
And that that's what actually keeps your team alive
Mhm.
in these fights because you um it's a ton of shields. So
Yeah.
what I have seen is a lot of fights come down to just Roland and Oliver giving each other shields back and forth until Roland dies because he doesn't have the stats, and then Oliver dies because he's alone.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what I've learned. Um, Lawrence was funny, still my highest damage dealer.
Mhm.
He deserves where he is, even though leadership is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not embarrassing. Um, but I'm very relieved to kind of be done with this account. I
Mhm.
agree. I don't really have anything else I want to know. I think anyone who's played the game a lot knows that Roland and Oliver is really strong, and once you get them set up, they will be really strong. But I'll be happy to say goodbye and be down to two from three. And I might have nightmares about being a Lawrence main, but
I mean, yeah.
that's about the end of it.
So yeah, um, basically that just leaves us with my quick wrap up on the Ana account. There's not much to take away from here. In the beginning, this was just the control account. This was basically we're gonna do pretty much what everyone, or pretty much what is a lot recommended is just build Ana. Once she gets to 141, she becomes really really strong and is able to 1v5 fights, which is still true. Like my Ana, even though I haven't played this account in a few days now, because we decided to stop. Ana was just doing what Ana did, which was winning fights 1v4, 1v5 after my units died sometimes. She was doing, in multiple modes. Like she's just still a really good unit. She's top of the tier list for a reason. Like there's we can do a deep dive on her sometime, but for basic purposes, once she gets 141, she can be your hyper carry. There's nothing wrong with her. Um, the what I ran into on this account is another good reinforcement of the lesson that when you're making a new account as free to play, you're just gonna go with the units you're pulling. Because what I ended up doing on this account was one, I pulled Yevgenia, which was fine. I think I might still do it again. I'm kind of on the fence because on one hand, Evgenia has not impressed me early game. She's been mostly just doesn't do much. I got her to potential 10. She does more damage now, which is so she's kind of useful. The biggest thing she's been doing is giving the bond to Ana. She's part of the Ana bond, so I would still pull for her. Again, I don't think I'd level her if I was doing this account again. I
I
just
mean,
wouldn't bother with it. But
you wouldn't need to pull for her because you
oh
get
yeah,
the
you
one
get
copy
one
for
copy from
free.
the event. Yeah, you're right. So
Yeah.
basically, yes, I would just get the event copy. I wouldn't pull for extra ones. Um, and because the other thing that kind of led me into doing on this account was, and I know I was probably influenced a little bit playing in the Draconia account, was I no, I did that, so I already had Yevgenia, and then I'd been getting like I got some Souds and I got some Hypnos, so it kind of ended up being a tribe account, and tribe is being a tribes account is not great. Not only am I going to have those fodder issues down the road here if I keep going tribes, um, they're just not after the Draconia buffs. Like I think you touched on it, tribes is the worst faction now as far as like the faction. Like they have Ana, which is great, but just as a faction, like overall, they have more like a couple really good units and role players like Delilah. But overall, just having a full tribes team does not feel good. I will say that 100%. It's you want units like Kaguya and Molier, Katarina. Like I with an Ana, if you're getting Ana copies and you go Ana, you don't need to be full tribes, and I honestly don't recommend it. Like having another tribes unit like Soud or Hypnos is fine, but having Kaguya, having Molier, having the really good units you get for free is just better. So don't don't do that. Don't try and don't end up in a full tribes team early. That would be my big
Which is
takeaway.
which is sad because I think Soud is a really cool unit design, and I
Yeah.
think it's like almost there, but just doesn't quite get there.
Like yeah, and that's another one we can save for no time is a dive into Soud because I think
Yeah.
they're an interesting unit too. But I think that's been plenty long on our video. We've kind of said what we're going to do. We will do at least one more update on the last two accounts as we kind of keep going. And we're basically, as long as we think there's interesting stuff to say about it, we'll probably keep touching on them. And as long as we feel like we want to keep playing them. So going forward, though, we have actually a lot of things we're going to look at, and kind of just to tease some of those. One thing we're definitely going to do is we're just going to pull up our main accounts and kind of just go over what we're doing to advance in the game on our mains, and kind of just for fun, compare what we're doing, have more of a casual discussion type video, and then we have some ideas on looking at things like the damage formula in the game. We want to look at some PvP questions that have come up between us as because we just get on and chat sometimes before the video. So we have a lot of stuff we want to talk about, and we're excited to do it. Going forward, we also kind of have realized I think we're going to end up doing probably one video release a week. For this project, what we did was we recorded a bunch of the videos and saved them up so we could release them a few days apart to kind of like let people see the entire process quickly, so to speak. And I think that was good. I do think we've, just with our schedules and everything, we're probably going to move to closer to one a week. It kind of depends. We'll see. But that's our current plan going forward. Do you have anything else you want to add before we tell them goodbye, Joe?
The last thing is, we are really enjoying just talking about the game. Like you said, we get on and we chat about this game almost as long as some of these videos are. So if you have questions or if you have topics that you would like to hear discussed or things that you don't hear talked about enough, maybe like bring them up in the comments. I think
Yeah,
we can always add to our video idea list, or even if it's not a full video idea, but if it's just something that you're interested in our opinions of, we can use part of a video to answer questions or talk about kind
yeah,
of these side topics about the game. um,
absolutely.
yeah.
That would be fun.
Um,
I hope we get to do that.
yeah, it's funny. I'm relieved to be done with the Rolliver account because it feels done, and I don't. I'm gonna be really hesitant to be done with the Starflame account because it's so
Mhm.
exciting to me.
Yeah,
Um, but again, there's only so many times I can get on here and say Skool is good, but oh man, those magic units sometimes get them.
yeah,
Uh,
fair.
so yeah, I think at some point we run out of things to say,
Yep,
and I'm glad we have some other ideas for topics.
exactly. So yeah. So look forward to more of that. Thanks everyone who watches. Please feel free, like we said, any interactions not only help us like get more people to watch, to get more ideas and comments and discussion going. It's fun. Like making this is fun. Anytime someone has asked me a question about the video or said, "Hey, I enjoyed it," it's nice because it makes me feel like we're enjoying it and other people are enjoying it. So don't hesitate to reach out. That's all I would say.
And
Yeah.
and if you got this far in the video, please flame me for getting as lucky as I did.
Like seriously,
It
like
will it will feed my mania to be flamed for getting this lucky. So
for sure. Yes, please feel free to do that. Absolutely. Other than that, everyone have a good time. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.
bye.